want to start by telling you that as a citizen of this country for 31 years, I had gotten to the point that expecting Lebanon to rise from the ashes of its civil war seemed nothing more than a dream. The war ended in 1989, and ever since, we, the Lebanese, have been yearning for our country to be properly rebuilt, to rise to all challenges, and to thrive on all fronts. But since that time, all we have witnessed is a country slowly tearing itself apart by continuing to give more power to the same political elites and warlords, and by encouraging political sectarianism above all. That's why, at the start of the revolution in October 2019, I couldn't allow myself to believe that my country could finally be changing for the better. Throughout the years, Lebanon has unfortunately become a nation of segregation, a nation of hatred, a nation of prejudice and discrimination. This system of injustice, patriarchy, and discrimination has infiltrated in the Lebanese a feeling of hatred towards each other. Growing up in this country has always felt like a burden and a daily struggle. We live in a country that has failed to provide us with the basic needs, such as electricity, fresh water, and efficient infrastructure. The roads are always crowded, and their poor design and upkeep cause traffic to be overwhelming every single morning. Add to that the air pollution and garbage crisis, which suffocate our lungs every day.
بس يحرقوا زبالة يعني نفسي بينقطع ما بيقعد فيني اخذ نفس ياخذها اقتص منها عشان بس كمان اختنق وما يقعد فيني اخذ نفسي.
And we see that this is a country that provides us with very little but demands too much in return. The burden of proper education and daily living expenses is solely on us. The burden of finding employment and earning low wages is on us too. Every day feels like we are fighting a war. Fighting for a dignified life without getting the support a country should provide its citizens. This has taken an emotional toll on every person living in Lebanon. We had become apathetic in our lives due to the constant disappointments. We could no longer foresee a solution to this, a way for Lebanon to become who it was meant to be. I was unable to see the value in a revolution. It felt like we were left with so many little deaths that we could not afford anymore. Although I thought I lost hope in any possibility for change, I found myself taking a leap of faith and choosing to reignite the fire inside of me that has been dormant for so long. I went to the revolution carrying a lot of conflicting emotions, but would leave each time heartful, mindful, and soulful. I had found myself there with a beautiful crowd in the middle of Beirut's heart. I was in the eye of the storm, where pain, anger, rage, frustration, and disappointment mix so elegantly with joy, happiness, pride, sense of solidarity, and empowerment. I've been trying to make sense of all the emotions I and others have experienced for the 3 months spent on the streets. The emotions in the women, the children, the minorities, the rebels, and the older generation who had lived through a civil war. I saw a nation moving from pain towards healing, wrapping its arms around itself, and finding comfort in diversity and a shared history that was once used against us by the system to separate and control us. I could finally make sense of the emotions and their healing impact on us. We shared a sense of validation from experiencing that historical moment together and realizing that we have more in common with the people standing next to us than we ever believed before, while still maintaining our own unique experiences. We realized that our vulnerabilities pushed us to grow into resilient humans. We were emotionally drained, yet strong in our beliefs, tired of the slow change, yet extremely perseverant in our faith for the future, ashamed of our country, yet so proud to call ourselves Lebanese. This realization was healing. The community we built was healing. The acknowledgement we felt was healing. The sight of people gathered together hand in hand, screaming for the same rights, screaming for you, screaming for me. It felt good. It felt liberating. It felt right. It felt right to reclaim our city and take back the streets. The streets are ours, they screamed. I felt pride in observing the revolutionary rebels, the ones we've always been taught to perceive as less civilized, filled with courage and standing on the front line of the revolution, defending all those behind, and witnessing the raw emotions of women marching together towards an aim to be heard without being put down and silenced. Healing was felt so deeply and so greatly. It was in finding a space in our hearts for those we judged to be different than us, but as discovered during those times were actually more similar than we would have ever imagined. Healing was in re-establishing a sense of belongingness that we felt has been long gone, in restoring our faith in humanity and human connection. It was in finding the courage within us to make our voices extremely loud, louder than any injustice, louder than any abuse, and louder than any violence. Regardless of what the future was holding, those moments we had, those moments we shared as one whole community, felt like a great moment of victory for Lebanon and a remarkably impactful one for the Lebanese.